My name is Kgaogelo Motlhomi. I'm a saxophonist, a multi-instrumentalist. My earliest music memory is me winning my first talent show at Spark Ferndale. I mean, that for me was my beginning of a beautiful musical journey, and it really introduced me to so many, greater opportunities into finding myself on this journey of discovery. What attracted me to music? I mean, for me, I grew up in a musical family. For me, I was surrounded by music everywhere. You go out there washing cars, there's music, and you come in the house, Coco's playing gospel, and the pop is playing jazz, and he's washing the cars or R&B. So for me, that was, my foundation of music, and I really picked up that sense of musical aspect. I mean, my uncle being a violinist, for me, that really drew me to saying, I want to learn that also. So I grew up in a very musical family, having an uncle who DJs as well. And music has been part of me.
Kgaogelo is an avid musician. He's always been a lover of music. His love for music started in primary school, just about when he was about 9 or 10. When we discovered that he was quite musical, it was because he would be quite disruptive in class, not in a bad way, but disruptive in that if he were to encounter a difficult sum or anything like that, he would start making melodies, and the teachers would actually flag that as something that is disruptive. I guess in our observations as parents, we started realizing that actually he copes in a musical sense. He thinks musically. And that's when we started our journey to entrench him into the music world.
And my parents also saw it there, he's really good at what he does, and I think we should give him a chance to see where can music take him, right? And they spent countless days and months and years trying to find the right music school for me that would not only build me to become the musician I want to be, but also allow me to be me, because trust me, I was very energetic with ADHD. I touched this, I break this. My mom and dad really wanted me to express myself in so many ways that I could also find my voice in music.
Having private tutoring lessons is very expensive. I mean, we went to the Renbecks of this world looking for music schools. It was quite pricey, and we ended up, consulting a couple of our friends within our circles just to find out in terms of where we could take him, where they could accommodate him, obviously at not an exorbitant cost. And a primary school friend of mine reminded me that Morris Isaacson at White City, he extended an invite for a parents' meeting that was in session on a particular Saturday. We went, got a feel of what it was like. We loved the environment. We loved the vibe there. There's high demand, for children to be enrolled at the school. So there was a long waiting list that we had to form part of, but because we were keen and we loved the environment, we wanted to see Kgaogelo being accepted into that school. We prepared Kgaogelo for the audition. We went, he did his audition, Chris was blown away, and that's how he got signed up. Immediately on that day, he got his instrument, and he never looked back ever since. He's never put that instrument down.
When I first came here to the center, I really never knew what instrument I was going to play. Right? I never even knew what a saxophone was until I was introduced to the saxophone and I was told, I'm going to play the saxophone. for me, I knew that this would be a very intimate journey for me and my saxophone, and for me to really expand my personal space into the instrument and make it, enter my bubble. For me, seeing my mom so happy, seeing my mom, happy, my son is finally doing what he loves and something he always wants to do, that also made me see the need into working harder, working hard to understand myself, to understand the instrument that I'm playing.
Motivating, it's inspiring. For someone to just have a shared talent that is God-given, that he is so passionate about. You don't have to remind Kgaogelo to rehearse. You don't have to, push Kgaogelo, to be his best. It's in him naturally to be musical. He eats, sleeps, dreams music to a point of irritation.
I like to imagine that I was a musician before I existed, right? And coming to Mecum, I got to really understand that there's so much more into music than just playing it. I got to understand music theoretically. I got to understand music orally. I got to understand that you can play alone, but it's much more nicer when it's an orchestra, it's a group of people, it's an ensemble. It taught me to have a good ear to listen, to understand music in so many forms and so many ways, and to also find my own understanding and language into how I approach music. So Mecum has built me to become a really great musician in so many ways.
Our well wishes for him as a family is to see him being the best version of himself. What that looks like, only God knows. If what he does makes him happy and it is effortless, that's all I wish for him. To be a success, to go and entrench himself around the world and go and see the world and inspire others musically through his journey.